it's really, I can bend a set aside in 15 minutes.
Does the wood have to be saturated, or how moist does the wood have to be?
It just has to be very light. I just mist it with a spray bottle.
Okay.
And put it in the bender, and when the steam starts coming off of it, I screw the waist in, and then I bend the front bout and then a back bout by pulling this block of wood down on it to hold it against the form.
Right.
And it just, it works beautifully. And, if you get into ebony or something like that, it gets very much more difficult, or like Coca-Cola.
Harder woods, in other words, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They're harder and more dense, and the fibers are not as flexible in the wood.
So have you done a Coca-Cola side with that hard wood like that?
Well, I've bent some sets, but I love the look and sound of it.
Uh-huh.
But it's very, I'm very sensitive to it, because you can have an allergic reaction to it.
I've heard of people having allergies to Coca-Cola, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm prone to that, so I kind of try to stay away from it if I can. Okay. But I have bent for people, and it has a lot of oil in it.
Oh, I see.
That comes to the surface.
All right.
And it's very difficult. But if you can get it bent, get it in the forms, and get it spreaded against the form, and let it set for a few days, it'll hold its form pretty good.
Well, that's fascinating. But for the most part, are you bending Brazilian rosewood, or what is your wood of choice for this?
Well, I normally, what I mainly do, and it's very easy to get, and it's not illegal, and it's not affected by the city's treaty that was put in effect, is East Indian rosewood and mahogany, and also African mahogany. And so that's the main materials I use at this point. And I usually use a mahogany or a Spanish cedar neck.
Okay.
But those are very workable woods. They're not very allergenic, and they have a great sound, a great tap tone, and the people that I usually bill for mostly are country pickers or flat pickers, and they love the sound of the mahogany and the rosewood.
Right, I've heard some of that wonderful that music that you sent me with the MP3s of a particular flat picker. That was and what was his name? Was it Tillman? Was that the last name? Or?
His name is Tim Dishman, and
Dishman.
He's a guitar player for Tina Adair Band.
Okay.
Here in Nashville, and they have decided to endorse me. And this guitar, this D model that I built for him, is just a cannon. I mean, it's just amazing at the sound that comes out of it. And I'd really surprised myself. And he uses a setup that is most people would find very uncomfortable to play. But he plays so hard, and he plays so fast, and yet he looks like it's flawless and easy. He has to have a setup that's far enough off the fret to keep from rattling the strings.
I see.
So he is an excellent flat picker. He's right up in there with people like Josh Williams, and and Josh plays been the International Bluegrass flat picker of the year for 3 or 4 years.
Okay. And his name again, please.
His name is Tim Dishman.
Dishman with a D, right?
Yes.
Is he on the internet? I mean, can people
You can find him with the Tina Adair Band,
Okay.
or you can go to Gary Clardy YouTube.
Okay.
And find some videos of him in there. And then if you go to YouTube, Tina Adair, Adair, there's a lot of different videos of them, at different gigs and things.
Well, I've got some of your MP3s here that you sent me, and I've put them down on a CD so we can hear it today. And I was delighted to hear his work. I'm very much interested and seeing if I can get him to come on the microphone at some point in the not-too-distant future. And if he has a solo CD out, boy, I'd sure love to include it in our file here and put it in the library and play some. But I'm going to hit the first button here on the first track of what you sent me. It sounds like this could be the gentleman that you're talking about in an audience environment where he's in a club and he's playing, I think, one of your guitars.
Yes, he is. That was a release party that they did on their current CD called Born Bad.
Okay.
And he and Greg Blaylock, Greg is playing a Clardy Resonator on that.
Okay.
And they decided they would surprise me by doing a little tune they worked up. And so they took a stage by themselves and played this number on the Resonator and the Clardy D model.
Okay. Well, let's give that a listen, and we'll come back and talk about this after the song. There's a couple more on here I'd love to play as well, and we've got some time here in this hour to do all that. So let's hear the music. Here we go.
Not only is me and Tina now endorsing Clardy guitars, but Greg is also building with Gary, and they just built this dobro, and Greg is also doing endorsing with Clardy, and they build great instruments. And this is a song that me and Greg put together, and this is called A Song for Clardy.
Well, Yahoo, indeed. There, that was Tim Dishman, and who was on the resonator? Did you say?
That was Greg Blaylock.
Greg Blaylock, fantastic.
He is Greg's grandfather. Played guitar with Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs.
My gosh.
And he took Greg to all of these competitions, picking competitions when he was a kid. So that's kind of how Greg got his start.
Right. Well, there's some more wonderful music on the CD that I was able to render for the MP3s. But before we get into that, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your selection of some of the other tone woods. For example, the top of the guitar. Typically, a lot of luthiers like to use a particular type of spruce, a single layer, as opposed to, of course, some of these laminates that you find out there and mass-produced. And being an artist in the luthier form and of traditional fashion yourself, I was very impressed with some of the maple that I was seeing for the back on some of these. And then, are you doing any maple tops or strictly with the spruce for the top?
Well, I have mainly my customers kind of let me know what they want.
I see.
And I'm so busy building for them that I don't really have time to do anything other than build for them.
Okay.
So I use a lot of Adirondack red spruce, and I use a lot of Sitka spruce. And I actually think that the Adirondack has a better tone than the Sitka, but it's a little bit softer. So if it's going to be in a pretty rough environment, they can beat it up and knock dents in it pretty easily.
Right.
So even though you can the Sitka, it has a little tighter grain on it, so it doesn't take the beating that or it doesn't show the beating like the Adirondack does. So, and some of the Sitka I use may have 35, rings per inch on it.
Okay.
And which is definitely a slow growth when you're thinking these trees that you're cutting those out of are 10 feet across or 9 feet or 8 feet.
Right. I know that when Martin Guitar was building a guitar for Lawrence Juber, to his specifications, he definitely wanted the Adirondack, and he's using it actually on the top instead of the sides of the back, and it's really changed the whole character of the tone that they built for him. That's fascinating. What are you using on the actual fingerboard and set? Is it strictly ebony, or are you using other materials, or?
Well, I use East Indian rosewood on some and ebony on a lot, and I usually install the same type of bridge that the fingerboard is.
Okay.
And actually, my wood of choice would be the soundboard would be Adirondack spruce, and I like the feel of the ebony on the fingerboard, and then I like to use a through bridge, ebony bridge with a through bridge saddle, which means the saddle goes to the outside of the strings probably 5/8 of an inch.
Okay.
And that way you get more vibrations into the top from the strings. You get more energy in there.
Oh, I see.
And I also like to move the X bracing forward as far as I can, and it loosens up